You may feel like planning your intimate time with your husband is passionless, but let me tell you that that is not true. I'm going to walk you through today how to create the sacred space for you to connect, at least on a weekly basis, with your husband and create mind blowing experiences that really truly connect you and leave you feeling so fulfilled and ready to start a brand new week. If you're like me, sex, before I learned some of the wonderful tools that are now in my toolbox, sex was a glorified obligation, I will say. I mean, I think the greatest thing is the desire to be wanted. I mean, we, especially as women, we want to be wanted. And I know I'm not the average bear, but for me, I would jump at any opportunity to connect with my husband in bed. Like, yes, I'm there. Wake me up. Whatever you want. Yes, I'm available. Because I really don't like the other option. Oh no, no. I would never dream of saying I have a headache. Fortunately, I don't really have headaches, so that's cool. And I don't know what it's like to truly have headaches frequently. Do I digress? Possibly. But the point is that it's that desire to be wanted. And we want to be wanted. But we were really sold short on what we got as women out of the sexual experience. I'm saying in general. For most of us, there are many women who have either never experienced orgasm, whether it's clitoral or the deeper vaginal orgasms. And if you haven't listened to the two previous episodes that are related to this, please go check out. It will be in the show notes. Sexual Healing and Awakening Feminine Pleasure, which is the first one. And the second is The Anatomy of Surrender, the G spot orgasm. These I go into detail about how to reconnect with ourselves as women, how to heal sexual trauma, how to begin that process, and how to really awaken and open ourselves up to this deeper, really mind blowing, life changing experience of sex that we really weren't given the tools to use or even know about. So it really changed my world and it changed our marriage. Went from a basically a 20-year marriage where, sex was it was good. I thought it was good, but I heard that it could be even better. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was missing. But hearing those stories of other women who were experiencing this other level of sex, this gourmet sex, as Kim Anami uh, describes it, which is, I can't really think of any other term that is so on point, that changes everything. And it's something that you're not going to want to have headaches anymore. You're going to want to show up for this because it is so incredible. So, planning your time together, your intimate time together, is actually something that you really need to be intentional about. You need to protect that time. And we're going to go into why and how you do it and all of that. I'll give you the tools. And I'm going to end with, so stay tuned to the very end because I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to create a wonderful space that you want to kind of come back to, and and feel fabulous in. So, so let's talk about what is gourmet sex. And again, these things are talked more about in those 2 previous episodes. I took Kim Anami's course. She is a sex expert who helps you to up level your sexual experience from what she calls junk food sex to gourmet sex. And I you will find in the show notes a link to her website. She has great podcasts. She is fabulously irreverent and says lots of sailory kinds of language. But the information that she has really is invaluable and was so transformational for our marriage and for me as a woman. understanding who I am, what my body is designed to do, and how to get there. And yeah, so gourmet sex is really taking sex from what we've believed it to be, which is, it's a biological function. It is a socially we look at it as, oh, it's kind of like, ooh, kinky, dirty. It's something like hush hush, keep it in the bedroom. It's not like you're gonna go have sex at the grocery store after hearing this, but it's putting a lot of it's veiling sex and keeping, well, "Oh, we don't talk about that. Ooh, body parts. Don't say penis. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you just said that." It's taking a lot of that Edwardian puritanical feeling around sex, and that it's a bad or dirty thing, or that it's lustful and it's evil, and completely transforming it into something that's actually a spiritual act that is, and that, and not in a churchy way, but in a, oh my goodness gracious, the whole world was designed, like we were divinely designed to experience this kind of intimacy and ecstasy, ecstatic. We were designed for this. We were made for this. This is not dirty. This is holy. This is beautiful. This is cosmic. And that's exactly the journey that I went from feeling that first way of very, oh, put it in the box, keep sex over here in the dark, and to, oh my goodness, this is part of me, and it's beautiful, and it's not dark, it's light, and it's glorious. And that is how we ought to be experiencing sex with our partner, with our husbands, and i- in ourselves. We we don't need to be locked away anymore. Sex does not need to be locked away. It needs to be glorified in the correct context. And that is where gourmet sex really comes in, is that it elevates it to the spiritual experience. And with that, I don't think porn has any place. I don't think, and that goes for us as women. We read our porn. It's in words, it's in stories, it's in storylines, it's in characters. Just because we read it in a book does not mean it's not porn. Okay? Those romance novels, it's the same thing. Guys just would rather, they're just visually wired. And so they're going to want to see it. And it's going to do everything that it, you know, clicks all the buttons for them. But for us, we want to be drawn in, we want to have a relationship and all of that to feel fulfillment. Now, it's not that it's bad. That's just how we're wired, just like men are wired visually, which I think is why it's quite important for us as women to keep taking care of ourselves so that we are. I mean, why wouldn't we want to be desirable to our husbands? Why wouldn't we want to be the most beautiful woman he's ever seen? And I mean, the world is so available now that that's possibly impossible. But at the same time, I think we really need to put the effort in to be attractive to our husbands and not to give up and say, oh, I spent so much time putting on makeup and, primping and getting my hair done and dressing up. I'm just going to wear comfortable clothes because that's the easiest thing. And I just don't care. Well, okay. But, you're not going to get as much out of that relationship or life or that experience if you're just going to settle. So I really encourage you to take care of yourself because it feels good. Honestly, do it for you. But also know, hey, that is how my husband is wired. Why don't I put a little effort in? If your husband gave up or has given up and they're just, I'm just going to have this pot belly and I'm just going to sit on the couch and not do a whole lot. I mean, that doesn't really do it. What if he cared about how he was showing up for you? Wouldn't that feel good? Do you know that if you decide to show up for yourself and for him, that's inspiring? A lot of guys don't want to be left behind. If you start and healthy habits and taking care of yourself, they're going to notice. Okay? There'd be a ding dong to not. So be an inspiration. You don't have to be, yeah, I was really good at, I love this, the tugboat versus the lighthouse. I'm a real good tugboat. I'm going to pull people along and this is the direction you're supposed to go. This is for your greater good. Come on, I know everything. As opposed to being a lighthouse, which is just an example. You live it for you and allow other people to go, oh, what? Hey, look. Hey, I that's making me curious what you're up to, what you're doing, the changes that you're making. I want to know more. So all this goes back to what is gourmet sex? Why do I want it? And why you need to be focused on gourmet sex when you are planning your sex dates. So, and that's what we've set up. So, once upon a time, we would make love whenever, the whim hit. And sometimes it would be frequently, and sometimes there would be a nice ice age. Not nice. It wasn't nice at all. And it would just kind of, hey, maybe we got it in once a month. But when we learned about gourmet sex and started implementing it, and I started to experience a lot of sexual healing and opening up and learning and experiencing these deeper vaginal orgasms that Kim talks about, the cervical orgasm, the G-spot orgasm, that, I mean, you're going to want to spend a lot of time in the bedroom after that because it is so, it resets your whole nervous system. It makes you feel so aligned with your husband and you feel completely reset. It's better than massage and it's free, which I always love. I love a good deal. So so with that, you want to create this time, you want to create a sex date. And that's what we decided to do. We decided there is one day a week at this particular window of time that we are going to commit to showing up together. It's like on the calendar in permanent marker, and nothing gets in the way of that, save an emergent, like a super, super emergency. And I recently had someone who requested a meeting, and they like the time that worked for them. They had people coming out of town that they want to be part of this meeting was going to be on, for us, it's Sunday mornings. Sunday until noon, it's blocked off. Nothing happens then except our time. And this person wanted it to be at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. And part of me really struggled with, oh, that's our time. And then the other part of me says, with my people pleaser customer service hat, went, oh, well, gosh, I don't want to inconvenience them. And then me with the feather boa for my sex date said, oh, hell no. No, nobody's touching this time. This is my time. This is our time. And it's non-negotiable. So I had to be a brave person and say, oh, I'm sorry. We must pick a different date. I'm not available until afternoon. And and that was hard for me, and I am proud of myself for drawing a line. So so with that sacred time is very important because what you're saying is to your husband, you're saying, you are valuable. Your time and my time with you is very valuable. And we are not budging on this. So set it in stone. Another thing that I love that Kim recommends, because she recommends these 3-hour sex dates. And I remember when I first heard that and I thought, oh my gosh, what are we? I mean, 30 minutes. Yeah, definitely. I can totally see that. An hour, it's a stretch. Three, 3 hours. Holy crap, what are we going to do? I've, do we read aloud to each other? Or I don't know. I don't know. Do we like do toe massages? Well, I tell you what, those 3 hours are incredibly valuable. Because even if you are not actively making love for 3 whole hours, it's that time commitment that makes a huge difference. Let's talk about what is important with that time commitment and how 3 hours will just fly by. So, what it provides you is a solid time of connection. When you are committed to 3 hours together, you're going to have to connect. It's unavoidable. So through the week, things pile up. They kind of get in the way. This is the time to like clear the decks And because you don't just clear the decks with the talking, but the love making, again, in the gourmet sex style, that clears away so much tension. Again, we as women, I want to feel desired and wanted. I want to connect on a deep level with my husband. That is incredibly imperative for me. It's not just, that's a nice thing, I appreciate it. Like, no, I need this. So this gets it for me. And I know that at least once a week, ideally it'd be great if it's more, but once a week, I will have that time where I will feel completely contained by him. I can share my heart. I can just feel his strong presence and I can melt away. Oh my gosh. It is such a necessity. So, what this prolonged time also provides is attention. When you choose to direct your full attention on your partner and you are committed to providing pleasure to them, adoring them, every inch of their body, man, that fills a basic human need of being seen and accepted and loved. Like how much do you want to be seen? It's super vulnerable, super duper. But when that person who has said, I am here for you and you are my person and I am your person and I regard you, I soak you up, I lavish my attention upon you. You deserve this. You are worth this. It changes a person. It provides you, I mean, gosh, you're not alone. And so often I feel like we are living alone with a roommate. And that's kind of what happens in a relationship is you just get comfortable, you get your routines, you stop paying so much attention to that person. You stop caring so much about what that person wants because you kind of like, well, you're here, I'm here. Life gets in the way. We let it. And this is a time of total reset where you reconnect and you say, yeah, remember, I am still choosing you. Today, right now, in this moment, I choose you. I drink you in. I am yours. You are mine. We are joined. We're united. We're together. It is so nourishing. Like I'm outside, I'm seeing these beautiful trees with the fall colors, and it just reminds me of their roots, of them soaking up the nutrients in the soil. That is what we need in a relationship to have it be vibrant and passionate and give us what we really like. What is it that you want in a romantic relationship? What do you want with your boyfriend, your husband, fiance, whatever it is? What do you really want? I know most of us as women, we want security. We want to feel safe, protected, provided for, adored. All those things, we want to feel that way. And when we live in our current culture, which is, I'm a woman and I can take care of myself, I'm Captain Marvel. Okay, yes, you are very capable and you can do everything, but you're in your masculine. You have your walls up. You are not allowing yourself to be contained so that you can relax into your feminine and be in your superpower to receive, to manifest things. You're just out there slogging. I'm saying this but it was me as well. Like, and it's sometimes I revert back to it and I have to catch myself and say, I'm trying to power my way through everything instead of living in surrender and love and allowing things to come to me. Allow those great things. Because I believe we are so afraid that if we aren't out there trying to make it happen, that we won't be able to receive what is designed for us or what we want in our lives, is we have to go and make it happen. What if Instead, we're supposed to say, I trust, I rest, I accept, I dream, and I ask. And guess what? It comes. That's something that I'm working on, that I'm playing with. If you listened to two episodes ago where I introduced uh, this challenge that I'm doing, that I would love for you to join me on. And it's a resting in love, meditating on love, soaking in love, 5 minutes a day for a month. What happens? Oh my gosh, girls, it's so transformational. It's just incredible what you learn and what you allow by being in that place of surrender and love. Oh, we all need that so desperately. Our children need it. Our husbands need it. We need more love. That is the answer. It truly is. So let's get back in the bedroom. Okay, shall we? So again, it by having this set time, it gives us the opportunity to clear things that have maybe been on our hearts that we need to discuss. Now, I don't recommend getting into something that will cause a fight. And that's like a different podcast entirely, but I think when you're about to, or just be aware. And before you say something, ask yourself or ask your higher self or God, is this going to serve me to bring this up right now? I'm going to bet chances are it's actually not. You will do better by simply focusing your loving attention on your spouse and allowing them to focus their loving attention on you. Then to say, it really ticked me off that you didn't edge the yard. You said you were going to edge the yard and you just didn't yet. Okay, don't do that. Please don't. You're not going to have any sexy time. You're just going to fight and be mad and whatnot. But simply by allowing yourself to, like, yeah, you may have things that bothered you, you wish you had done differently or hadn't done or did, whatever. But if you just say, here I am showing up for you. I'm showing up. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be responsible for me. I love radical self-responsibility. Where do I need to come and apologize? Where did I fall short? Because that's all you can control is you. You may think that it's your job to tell him all the things where he messed up or didn't, failed, but that is not your job. If you want to be his mother, go for it. But even then, a mom's job isn't to tell their kid where they did everything wrong, is it? I don't think so. I think it's to help them see like options and let's show up differently here. And hey, let's try this. Or hey, this is a guideline and a parameter. Yeah. But you don't want to mom your husband at all, unless you'd like to not have intimacy. And that is the thing that we want. We want intimacy so very much. Okay. It also, having this extended time provides you those deep, life-changing orgasms. Again, listen to podcast 1 and 2 that are listed in the show notes to hear more about what those are and what they're like. Because it is possible, as Kim Anami says, it is possible for every woman to experience these type of orgasms. I think it is a necessity for women to learn how to access these and have them on a regular basis. Weekly for sure, if not daily. These are incredible tools of being able to open yourself up to receive and to honestly feel so stinking incredible. It's amazing. And then your guy, when he learns how to do this with you, it's going to feel like a rock star because, oh my gosh, he can totally obliterate you in the best way possible. And that is also glue. When you know that you and your husband are so in sync together in bed, when your sexual experiences are so rich and heightened, you kind of going to want to maintain that relationship. because it's probably kind of hard to find a guy who knows how to do that stuff. It's just amazing. This to me is your sex life, your connection to your feminine pleasure, and how you and your husband or partner connect. That is a pillar in life. That's like a pillar. It's up there with nutrition. It's equal, if not maybe more important than exercise and nutrition. Your sexual health in in what your sex life is. That is incredibly important to a rich and fulfilling life. And this it's I just it still boggles my mind of the misinformation about what sex is. I think, yeah, it's that candy bar junk food sex and how that is a bastardization of what sex really is. It's like if your definition of love was middle school. Oh my gosh, I love Johnny so much. He's just like, I love how his hair like parts on the side. And then, no, that's not love. That's like, oh, deep like. That's pretty fun. But this is love. I mean, there's a difference. Okay. So let's now get to my the three things that I highly recommend that you can do to set the tone for your weekly sex dates. All right. And then actually I do want to end with the question of how do you get your guy on board? So, setting the tone. First of all, you want to make your bedroom an inviting place. When your bedroom is cluttered, filled with piles of stuff, I say that and I have a pile of laundry right there, but I'm going to get that folded in just a few minutes. So, but conviction. You want your room to be a place where you feel like you can rest and relax and you're not looking around at a physical to-do list. Like, oh, that's got to get taken care of. That's got to get, oh, I've been meaning to work on that. I just, So this week, why don't you spend some time clearing your room out and making it the ultimate sex den? A place where you feel like, for me, this is our room. Hey, check it out. So if you're seeing the video on YouTube, you are seeing our room. And it is a place it's my favorite room in the house now. I feel light, I feel clear. And that's another thing that we have our sex dates in the morning. And I highly recommend a morning sex date. We go to church in the bedroom. That's our church. And I wouldn't trade it for any other type of church from personal experience. That this connection and where it opens me up on a spiritual level is just, it does it for me. It's absolutely fantastic. It's nourishing. And I need it. And we need it as a couple. And since committing to doing this on a weekly basis, we have had such an incredibly solid year. It's been almost a year since we started committing to this. And I think it's fundamental. It's something that I will encourage all of our children when they have partners to commit to because it is so nourishing and fundamental to a relationship. So, creating a space that feels like you want to spend time there. So, you're going to clear it out, you're going to declutter it, take away, get the TV out of there. If there's a TV in there, I really, really recommend removing it from your bedroom. Why are you watching TV in bed? It's not good for your sleep. It is not good for your relationship. If you want to snuggle and watch a movie, do that in the living room or wherever it is that the family TV is at. You don't need one in your bedroom. If you're like, oh, I like to have a show on while I get ready for the day, you have a phone. Try that. But highly recommend the importance of clearing a space for what its dedicated use is. I think is very important. I know Kim says she recommends getting rid of all your books and everything, and I appreciate that idea. But personally, I really enjoy having my books in my room. So you do you. And if that means having the TV in your room, then you know what? You do you. But I recommend removing it. Or maybe during your sex dates, drape a scarf over it or something or other to signify this energy is not part of our space. We are having our intimate time. Okay. Um, I want you to be intentional about everything. It's so fun. I really enjoy adding ritual. And for that, it includes a candle. And so when a candle burns out and then I get to go shopping for one of our candles. I will smell some I'll sniff around. I just love using my sniffer and finding delightful scents. It's one of my favorite things about being alive. And I'll pick a candle that feels sensual. It gives me like, ooh, I dig that. So I'm not gonna pick something that's bright and like lemon or something like that. It's not gonna put me in the mood. Pick a candle that's gonna put you and your guy in the mood. And then you light it in the morning on your or whenever it is that you have your designated time. And honestly, if you can't do 3 hours, that's fine. Start with 1 hour. Start with 1 hour and see what happens. And then, bump it up to 2 and then get up to 3. But even if you start, I encourage you to be brave and start with 3 and see what happens. Because I know like we take breaks. And this is another thing. This is after being intentional about everything, let me also integrate or inject that that also includes music. I really enjoy having some kind of background music, and that can be an instrumental something, or it might be a series of love songs, something that's not distracting, but that enhances the whole mood and experience. I love it because with using our different senses, our smell, taste, touch, sound, hearing, we are able to kind of transport ourselves to create a whole new environment. That's where the intentionality comes in. So be intentional about, like, maybe you have a playlist. And what's great is it creates a Pavlovian response. You put on the playlist, you light the candle, you put on the playlist, you're like, oh, it's on. It's time. Woo. And then, yeah. So also something else. So number 3, think about it's a time commitment. You want to make sure you're prepared for it. We like to prepare coffee, and we have a special little setup that this is again part of ritual, and it just reinforces the intentionality and the specialness of this time. And so we put coffee in a carafe, and we have our cups and our creamer, and then we bring our music and light the candle, and now this is our time. But you also might want to have water bottles on hand. What else do you need? Is the room warm enough? Do you need to bring in a little heater? Do you need to bump the air up? Do you need to cool it? Like, make sure you're really creating a space where you don't have to worry about those kinds of things, that you've already thought about it and you're being intentional. Maybe you want to have snacks. Do it. Do it. It's so luxurious to make love and then take a little break, have a little snack and a beverage, and then come back to it again. So now what do you do if your guy's how do you get him on board too? Like, I know our time is so precious, and especially these days we fill it up with so much. We also waste a lot of it scrolling on our phones or binge watching shows or just kind of it feels kind of good, but it's numbing. And that's not what this is. This sex date, this time of intimacy together is really all about being alive, being connected, and having that deep infusion of love and connection that we so desperately need and crave. So, to get him on board, so let's say he flat out says, no, I don't want to do it. You know what you're going to do? You're going to commit to it for yourself. You're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to start having a ritual at this time for this long on this day, whatever it is. And I invite you to join me. And so in that time, fine. If he's not going to join you, that's okay. It's your time to have self pleasure. And that may you might be clutching pearls. Well, let go and let's get real that our feminine pleasure is incredibly important. It's beautiful, it's not dirty, and it is very valuable to your sense of like being connected with your body. Because in the Western culture, we are so in our brains, we are so in our head. And we treat our body like it's a machine with different parts. Like, well, you got this cog here and then this thing here and it does this thing here and then parts. And you look at our body as far as health goes, you go, well, that cog there isn't working and this one we got to replace this. We got to give you this medication to make this do that. No, it's holistic. We are a full connected functioning being. And with that, we have to have our brains get reconnected with our bodies. And in that, our spirits as well, who we are. It is a trifecta of, of personhood. We are mind, body, spirit. Being able to access your sexual pleasure is highly energizing, like for your whole system. We are electric beings as well. It's all electricity, it's neurons firing, it's all of that. When we are able to connect with our bodies and our sexual organs and the pleasure, it's spreading even more energy. It's creating more energy. That energy can be used for being more productive, for having greater zest and zeal in life, for just being a happier person. Who doesn't want that? So commit to your own pleasure. So if your guy says, nah, that sounds like a waste of time, what are we going to do for a whole hour? You say, okay, well, I'm going to be here. This is my schedule. Chances are, if he is a man with any bit of desire, he's going to eventually be joining you. And again, keep that invitation open. Do not shame. And yeah, you're just going to be happier if you invest in yourself. Okay. What if he says, okay, that sounds, yeah, I could do that, but I don't know that I can do it for like 3 hours. You say, okay, well, I'm setting aside this time. And again, invite him to join you. And be creative. Again, bring snacks, bring a beverage. And here's the thing, I don't recommend having your sex date mixed with alcohol. Why? Because alcohol deadens our experience. It is a lubricant. It might, it's like, no, it helps me get in the mood. Okay, it'll loosen you up. But when it comes to really experiencing that pleasure, that intense pleasure and that energy, it really dulls it. It numbs it. And that isn't what you want. So I encourage you to be brave and to show up sober and to stay sober during these sessions. If you, again, you get to make the rules. This is your life. I'm offering a suggestion. If you feel like having a glass of something is just kind of what you need to get going in that, okay, maybe try that. See how that works for you. But I encourage you to try it without it as well. Where does that bring you? Because oftentimes I know from my experience, when I integrate alcohol into a relationship, that ends up being the showcase piece is the alcohol and not the relationship. And I end up blocking things, limiting myself. And that's not the kind of life I want to have anymore. I want to live richly and deeply. And I think you want that too. So try leaving alcohol off the table. And even if that feels really uncomfortable and foreign to you, lean into it because you're going to be so richly rewarded. All right. So I think eventually he's going to be on board. And if not, send him some links to these different podcasts that I've put out, or send him to Kim's podcasts, and he can hear for himself other people, men and women, attesting to the power of this gourmet sex and these long sex dates that really change lives and just bring so much richness. So that's what I got this week. I hope that it brought some new ideas to you. I really encourage you to lean into it. And again, if you're single or you're separated or whatever it is, and your partner is just either not available or not there, I really encourage you to still plan your sex dates with yourself. And that it's incredibly valuable. You are incredibly valuable. And your pleasure is paramount. So Yeah. I am very, very thrilled to announce I will have a link in the show notes for my free vision board masterclass. This is a chance, there's nothing connected with it. I'm not selling anything. So, but I just really want you to have the chance to participate, to be able to ask questions as I walk you through what I've found, the method that I've discovered over the last 4 or 5 years of creating a vision board that really transforms my year. It really moves the needle from when I make it to then the following year. When I reflect on it, I've been able to look at it and say, oh my gosh, I hit everything on it. That's incredible. How did that happen? And I want you to have that as well. So find the link in the show notes to join me for my free vision board masterclass. And I want to help you make 2026 absolutely incredible. You're also welcome to connect with me. Just send me an email at wholewomanawakening.com. No, that's not it. Sorry. At wholewomanawakening@gmail.com. Yeah. I haven't made the website yet. I don't know these days how important that is, but I'm sure it will happen in this next year. So I will be here next Friday and with a very special guest. I'm excited to bring you a new interview that talks about something entirely different, but all within the realm of femininity and womanhood. Thanks again for joining me. I'll be here next Friday.